What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a slightly longer form video of a recipe that we did previously in a short. This recipe we brewed on the old Brew Magic that's right behind me. I'll link it below in the description. We're gonna make a real clean, juicy, American style Treehouse IPA that we think you're gonna love. It's easy, anyone can make it. Let's dive right into it. We've constructed the base of this recipe to be a super clean, expressive base that highlights and accentuates the hop character of this beer. So malt takes a back seat, whereas the hops come to the forefront. I would mash at 152 to 154 degrees, kind of a mid-tier profile, not too dry, not too sweet. I think that's going to be just right for you. As far as what we're targeting for alcohol percentage and specific gravity, I would target 1070 specific gravity and to finish at 7% alcohol. The base malt structure is very, very simple, very straightforward. It starts out with 85% two-row malted barley, real clean, adds a little bit of oats at 10%, body, mouthfeel, texture. We don't like to go overboard with oats because too much oats creates kind of a mealiness and kind of a weirdness on the palate that we're not particularly fond of here at Treehouse, so oats are good in moderation. And then last but not least, we use Carafoam. 5% just adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of head retention, and rounds the beer out. Real straightforward mash bill. Before we get into hop additions, we'll talk real quick about this recipe and how we constructed it. I don't know what your homebrew setup is. I don't know what your commercial brewing setup is. So we're not going to give you like hyper particular information on salt dosing or hop volumes or the way that you guys need to construct your brew. That's up to you, and let's be honest, that's part of the fun. So for us, our secret sauce is a mixture of different brewing salts and then different things to get our pH into line. Everyone has their secret sauce, we have ours. It's up to you to find out your own. So moving into hop additions, at 60 minutes we have Magnum to 20 IBUs in this recipe. We like Magnum, it provides a super clean bitterness. At Treehouse, we like bitterness in our style of IPA. We think it makes the beer thirst quenching, and if we don't have bitterness, we find beers to be unbalanced, too much sweetness. So don't ignore bitterness, don't be afraid of bitterness. Bitterness is a good thing. Bitterness is a flavor. Embrace it, love it, enjoy it. Make sure you have some bitterness in your beer. Moving on from that, 20 minutes left in the boil. We have an even blend of Citra, Simcoe, and Amarillo. We're gonna do 15 grams of each. We're gonna do 5 IBUs of each, which is gonna account for your 20-minute hop addition. And then from there during the boil, in the same volume, without calculating your IBUs, you're gonna add the same amount of hops once you finish boiling at flame out. So Magnum at 60 minutes to 20 IBUs, Citra, Simcoe, and Amarillo at 20 minutes to 5 IBUs each. And from there, the same volume of hop additions is 20 minutes at flame out. All right, so we made our hop additions. We've cooled the wort down to 65, 70 degrees. We made sure we have a good amount of oxygen in there. And today for this beer, we're pitching London Ale 3. London Ale 3 is a beautiful English style yeast that produces nice fruity esters that balance this hop characteristic really well and provides a smooth, easy backbone to the beer. So we recommend pitching at around 70 degrees with good oxygenation. It's up to you what temperature you like to ferment at because London Ale 3 is expressive at different temperatures, so we'll leave that up to you. Once you allow fermentation to happen, you've reached terminal gravity. Again, process is up to you. You might want to drop your yeast, you might want to leave your yeast in suspension. You may even want to dry hop during fermentation. Again, that's part of the fun. Experiment, brew one batch where you dry hop during the ferment, brew another batch where you dry hop after the ferment. For the purposes of this particular recipe, we suggest allowing the beer to ferment out, dropping the yeast, and then moving on to your dry hop. Very straightforward recipe. Your dry hop is equal parts Simcoe, Citra, and Amarillo. Dry hop, and we recommend a very intensive hop dose for this recipe at 15 grams per liter. It's up to you if you want to go that extreme. I know that in the comments of the short that we had done previously, you guys were like, whoa, 15 grams per liter. So it's up to you. If you like a more delicate beer that's slightly less expressive, you could do between 7 and 10 grams per liter. But please experiment. One thing's for certain, that combination of Simcoe, Citra, and Amarillo is absolutely fantastic. All right, so we've dry hopped. We've waited, we've tasted the beer. One thing I want to say to you guys is, if you're brewing in a carboy or any other vessel, try to leave the beer alone. Anytime you trial it or test it during the process, you'll just work yourself up and say, oh my God, it doesn't taste good. It's only been 24 hours post dry hop. Just be patient. Allow yourself a timeline. Don't touch that beer too much because touching it could result in sterilization issues or it could result in oxidizing issues, which you want to avoid. So just leave the beer alone. Once you've dry hopped it, anywhere between 3 and 7 days. It's up to you. You will then cold crash that beer, get it off the hops into a keg, and I recommend for hoppy beer to force carbonate it because keg conditioning, I think, can consume some of that character. Get it cold and carbonated as soon as possible and pour yourself a fresh and delightful treehouse style IPA. All right, guys, this is a recipe anybody can do. It's very, very straightforward, but if you keep your process tight, you are gonna make a beer that is quite special. Thanks for watching today. There's more content where this came from. If you don't already, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of fun making these videos. We like having you guys around, so we'll see you in the next one. Be good to each other.